Dr. Manhattan has much to answer for to all the lives that he has played like a game of chess. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Doomsday Clock issue number 7 and find out for ourselves, shall we? Alrighty then, so as we join the comic, we see Manhattan, who takes the form of a tiny little moth, regaling us with the history of Alan Scott the Green Lantern. How back in the golden age of DC heroes, Alan was on a train. The train crashed, but he was able to save himself because he grabbed a magic lantern, one that had quite the history. Only, what if that didn't happen anymore? What if on a whim, Dr. Manhattan decided to move the lantern out of Alan's grasp? Then he would have died, right? Then all of history would have been changed. Now, why he did it is still a mystery, but the fingerprints that Manhattan has left all over history have gotten quite a few people to all converge together in one place. There's the new Rorschach Reggie, as well as Saturn Girl, as well as Johnny Thunder, who have finally managed to grab a hold of Alan Scott's lost Green Lantern. These events aren't lost on Ozymandias either. He says that perhaps all of these things happened for a reason. In their group right now, they have two people from an alternate universe, a man who claims to be from a past who might not have happened, and a girl from the far-flung future who claims that all of these events are history, and because of that, she's very upbeat about pretty much everything. Now elsewhere, the comedian is getting tortured by the Joker, and yes, you guessed it, the Clown Prince of Crime finds it pretty hilarious that a dude calling himself the comedian doesn't really smile all that much. It would seem that while Dr. Manhattan saved the comedian from the brink of death, he didn't really give him a lot of information about what to do next. He's been running around as confused as everyone else, it would seem. The one mission he did have is actually kind of interesting. He wasn't sent to kill Ozymandias as we thought he was. No, he was sent to go kill the cat. Why? Well, because it's a clone of Adrian Veidt's original cat, the one that got disintegrated by Dr. Manhattan. Meaning that this newest model can actually trace the chronal energy that Dr. Manhattan leaves in his wake. That's how Adrian managed to find Alan Scott's Green Lantern. It's also the thing that's leading him directly to the comedian. Batman chooses this time to break out too and have it out with the Joker. Right as it seems like all the involved parties finally make it to the same place for the first time all series. Which would seem is exactly what Ozymandias wanted, having all these different pieces of chronal energy together, and the power of Alan Scott's Green Lantern essentially allows Adrian to summon Dr. Manhattan, to summon God to answer their questions. Manhattan doesn't like being summoned, but if he's gonna have to answer some questions, he doesn't want Joker or Batman to hear, even though Batman makes a solid point of saying, "Hey, I know you." Ozymandias wants Manhattan to return with him to the Watchmen universe so they can hopefully save their universe from destruction. Uncharacteristically, though, Manhattan has changed his tone, saying perhaps it is time for things to end. We also get some important insight into Marionette and Mime's kid. Manhattan says that he didn't spare Marionette's life during that bank holdup because she was pregnant, but because he actually saw the kid's future and what they might do. Of course, even in Manhattan's own omnipotent greatness, he can't remember which kid it is who's going to do these great things. Yes, that's right, I said kid, because Marionette is once again with child. They conceived one in this universe. Reggie's full of questions too about his father, the original Rorschach, his new place in this Watchmen legacy, only for Manhattan to drop the biggest bomb yet. And that would be, hey, massive spoilers here, but Ozymandias doesn't have brain cancer. He never did. He's been lying to Reggie all along to turn Rorschach into his own personal attack dog. And perhaps in the back of his mind, Reggie always knew this. Adrian says that he was perfect to manipulate because, well, like a real Rorschach, Reggie just saw what he wanted in Ozymandias. It was a lot easier living a false life than having to deal with the truth that the real Walter Kovacs destroyed Reggie's father and his family by extension. That these people he held up as heroes, well, aren't really heroes at all. They're just super messed up individuals with powers. The final revelation, though, of Dr. Manhattan might be the heaviest, the one he's saved for last, and that is, what is he exactly doing in the DC universe right now? He says that when he abandoned his own Earth, he hoped that he could come here and live amongst its people, only he was plagued by a horrible vision of destruction. Basically, Manhattan says he saw Superman, this world's defender, its greatest champion, and then he saw nothing, complete blackness, which would seek to imply either Superman would be Dr. Manhattan's ultimate undoing, or after seeing Superman, Dr. Manhattan destroyed the entire universe. And it's right around there that the comic ends, everyone. So that was Doomsday Clock issue number 7, and I'm thankful to say this series is finally delivering what I wanted out of it since the very beginning. We're given a ton of answers, even if those answers come equipped with even more questions. I enjoy the idea that at the end of the day, Ozymandias still ends up being the true villain in everything. Not ultimately sure how I feel, though, about after everything Batman did in the Button and Beyond to try and get closer to Manhattan, he was ultimately denied an audience, but of course the series isn't over yet, so there's still time for that. I was not expecting to see the whole Nathaniel Dust detective movie thing get played into so heavily in this issue, but I like what they're doing with it. You know, we got this whole different degrees of reality thing going on. You know, like, what do fictional characters enjoy as fiction? Something that's very true to Watchmen. Overall, I'd give this one an 8 out of 10. I would say this issue actually reignited my interest in this series going forward.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again. I want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not take a look at some of these other videos I have available from the channel. Then you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Cape Joel, so you're always up to date on what I'm doing next. And hey, if you're in the market for some cheap comic books, might I recommend Book Depository? They're my favorite place to get cheap comic book trades, and if you use my link down in the description, not only will you save a bundle by not having to pay a cent for shipping, but everything you do buy goes to support me in the channel. So you win, I win, everybody wins, right? And until next time, everyone, this has been Cape Joel, and I'm going to continue making comic book videos that smack of greatness. Bye-bye.